Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Hail, 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 hail. Hail, 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 hail. Hail, 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 hail. Hail, 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 hail. Hail, 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 hail. Hail, 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 hail. Hail, 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 hail. Hail, 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 hail. Hail, 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 hail. Hail, 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 hail. Hail, 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 hail. Hail, 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 hail. Hail, 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 hail. La 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's really great to see all of you. Let's begin as we do each week on Zoom with a heart tap, greeting one another. Of course, we invite you to go into gallery view to see members of our community. It's really good to see one another. I am very grateful for a wonderful clergy team. Cantor Zell wishes everyone a Shabbat Shalom. She is actually observing Shabbat with our former assistant rabbi, Josh Franklin, in the Hamptons. She just sent me a picture of the two of them preparing for Shabbat, which was great to see. Rabbi Sherman and Rabbi Sapphire on vacation, but joining us from afar. And it's really good to have our rabbinic intern, Ryan Lesner, here, our new assistant rabbi, Rabbi Harper, and Josh Rosenberg as well. And I want to thank Josh for leading us in the music. Josh is our new Director of Young Families Learning and Engagement, and will be working with our youngest members and their families. And we're really thrilled to have him. Of course, Josh has many talents, and one is certainly music. Josh attended the Eastman School of Music and received a bachelor's in vocal performance and music education, and is an adjunct instructor at Jewish Theological Seminary this semester, teaching a course in music education. And I am told he is one step away from being certified as a cantor by the Cantors Assembly. He has served in a cantorial role the past number of years. And so we're really grateful that not only does he come to us leading our young families, but also offers us the gift of music and reminds us that boys can grow up to be cantors as well. So Josh, we're really glad you're leading us in song. Let us prepare ourselves for Shabbat with songs of joy, celebration, and gratitude as we begin.
Hail, 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 hail. Hail, 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 hail. Hail, 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 hail. Hail, 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 hail. You might remember this melody from last week. Sing along if you do. Hail, 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 hail. Hail, 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 hail. Hail, 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 hail. Hail, 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 hail. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, hi, hi.
I forgot to mention that Josh is also the husband of Rabbi Vanessa Harper. And so we're thrilled that both of them are part of our community. Let us now welcome in Shabbat with the lighting of our Sabbath candles. If you do have candlesticks in front of you, we invite you to light them in front of the camera. And if we see you lighting candles, we ask that you grant us permission to put you on the screen so that we can see the candles being lit as Josh leads us in the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. We say together, Amen.
And continuing together with the words Shalom Aleichem as we greet Shabbat together.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashem, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zetchem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
As we've welcomed the angels to come in and celebrate Shabbat with us, we welcome Shabbat herself. L'chadodi is this moment of getting so excited to embrace Shabbat, like Shabbat is a beloved that we just cannot wait to see. So as we begin to sing these words, I invite you to think about something that you are so looking forward to this Shabbat that you just can't wait for the sun to set.
Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmianu el hameyuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad, Leshem u'tiferet v'litila. All Chadodi Ikrat Kala Openei Shabbat Ekabela Likrat Shabbat Lechu v'necha Ki mechor haverah merosh mikeder Nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila Ol echad hodim pnei Shabbat ekabela. Itoreri, ki ba'orech, kumi ori, uri, shir daveri kevod Adonai, alayich nigla, olecha todi, o nikrat hala, o pnei Shabbat ekabela. Yalalai, la 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 We rise together, we face the door, we welcome in Shabbat together in community. Ori v'shalom, ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, boi chala, olecha toni, nikrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela, olecha toni, nikrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela, olecha toni, nikrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela, olecha toni, nikrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela.
Take a moment to take a centering breath, one big deep breath. We can look around the room. What a joy it is to be able to welcome in Shabbat in community. We hold that idea of oneness, the oneness that connects us all to each other, to the whole world, as we recite Shema together.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
And we wish for each other that this Shabbat may be filled with shalom, that God will spread the Sukkot Shalom, a shelter of peace over each and every one of us and around the whole world. We send those feelings of love and of wholeness all around as we sing together, Let There Be Love.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. V'ha'amidenu, Shomreinu L'chaim. Ufros aleinu, Sukat Shlomecha. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Let there be love, let there be love, and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
We have arrived. We've arrived at the center of our prayer service, the part of our service that asks us to reach within, to open up our lips so that whatever is on our hearts can be heard. So as we do each week, we'll join together. We're going to open up our chat room, and it's a place where you can express all of your joys and all of your oys, words of gratitude, words of appreciation, as we join together as a community, as a sacred community, to recognize the holiness that exists here and the holiness that we're bringing into Shabbat with each of us. Let's join together in words of Adonai Sefatai Tiftach. Let's open up together. Adonai Sefatai Tiftach. V'yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai Sefatai Tiftach. V'yagid Tehilatecha. Open up our lips that we may praise your name. Open up our hearts that we may feel our pain. Open up our souls and let our love make us whole, and we will praise your name, Adonai Sefatai Tiftach. V'yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai Sefatai Tiftach. V'yagid Tehilatecha. Please take a few moments for your own personal and private reflection.
And before we continue, I want to thank Ryan for a last minute change. I asked him to sing a different prayer because today is August 6th, which is the anniversary of a very important event that occurred in 1945, when we were reminded on this day in history that a small disagreement can actually destroy the world, as an atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima. And so with that day in our mind and that world event, we pray that peace comes and that there be war no more.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. 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 Ki ata hu melech adon lecho hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. B'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We know that for some of those that we love, the last week may have been a struggle, a time without that Shalom Rav, that great sense of wholeness and peace. And so at this time, we take a moment to think of those whom we love, who are in need of healing, whether it is a healing of mind, a healing of body, or a healing of spirit. If there is someone whom you are thinking of this week, feel free to use the chat. We'll open up the chat so that you can place their name there and we can hold their memory, the wish for their healing together. As together we sing Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor Havracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And of course, each week we give thanks for the sacred moments we've shared in life. I do just want to acknowledge, I noticed that the chat room was not open during Misheberach. Oh, now they're coming through. So someone was able to open it, as I think our technology professional fell off of our call and the technology failed us to soothe us. And thank you for helping as we watch these names scroll past our eyes and into our hearts this evening. Let us just give a moment as we watch these names scroll through for healing of body, of mind, of soul. May they be blessed with strength. And now let's turn our attention to the faces on our Zoom screen, the members of our community, and to those who celebrated a birthday. And I would like to say happy birthday to Josh Rosenberg. Yom Huledet Sameach. Anyone else a birthday? If you'll raise your hand, we want to acknowledge you. Happy birthday. Any anniversaries out there? No one communicated them in advance, but perhaps an August wedding. Mazel tov. I did receive the word that Marcia and Mitch Merkin, who are here, were blessed with a grandson, Owen Lyons. And so I thought I saw Owen on the screen. Is that true, Mitch and Marcia? Excellent. You can't unmute yourself, I guess, but it was a real joy because I did notice Jess and Owen on the screen. So mazel tov to you. We are thrilled. Did anyone experience something new this week, something beautiful, something extraordinary that is worthy of Shehechianu? Hopefully people were able to gather outside or with friends. I do want to acknowledge we're joined by a law firm this evening, Lappin, Zager, McMillan, and Heller, I see, are with us this evening, a pod. And hopefully people are feeling healthy and grateful. I see families gathering in vacation homes and close by. Let us give thanks to God with the word Shehechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu b'zman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu b'zman hazeh.
So Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I hope you received your email on Wednesday evening, announcing our current plans for the High Holy Days. Did you receive that email? Excellent. I see the nods. Rosh Hashanah is less than 1 month away, as you know, and I hope you'll register, even though, to tell you the truth, I have no idea what Rosh Hashanah is going to look like this year. There are so many questions to be answered, and we'll have to answer them at a later date, from how many people can attend to how much distance will be between us. And so this week, I found myself running from meeting to meeting, not really sure where I was going, which I guess is no surprise because even the medical professionals don't all agree on our direction, what we should do, because right now it's just not clear. Unlike our Torah portion this week called Re'eh, which so clearly delineates a direction of what to do and what not to do. It begins, Re'eh anochi noten lifnechem hayom, bracha uklala, which means, behold, this day I set before you blessing and curse. Meaning, if you obey the mitzvot, you get blessing, and if you don't, you get curse. The problem is that in real life, I have learned that it's often not so clear which is a blessing and which is a curse, which reminds me of a story that I'd like to share this evening of a man who lived in a small village and acquired a beautiful horse. How wonderful, exclaimed the villagers. What a blessing has come to you. And he replied, what seems like a blessing may be a curse. Well, the villagers were puzzled by this man's reaction, but they went on their way. Sometime later, the man awoke to find that his beautiful horse had run away. And so the villagers rushed to his side to comfort him on the loss of his prized possession. And again, he puzzled them when he said, what seems like a curse may be a blessing. Well, sure enough, sometime later, his horse returned, surrounded by a whole herd of beautiful stallions worth millions of dollars. Well, the villagers, struck by the man's good fortune, congratulated him with cheers. But the man replied, what seems like a blessing may be a curse. Sometime later, the man's son, riding on one of the stallions, was thrown from his mount and broke his leg. The villagers rallied to offer support to the man on his son's injury. And the man said, what seems like a curse may be a blessing. And not long afterwards, all the young people of the village were conscripted into a terrible war far away, in which all of them were killed or injured except for the man's son, who couldn't go because of his broken leg. What seems like a curse may be a blessing. Now, I tell you this story because we all know that sometimes it's not so clear which events are curses and which events are blessings. That's why tonight I want to focus on the first word of our Torah portion, which is Re'eh, which was, as I translated earlier, known as behold in our Torah portion in the books we have in our sanctuary. Behold, I place before you blessing and curse. But I'd like to this evening provide its more literal meaning, because I think it helps provide a helpful truth, especially at this moment in history. And that is that Re'eh doesn't have to mean behold. It actually literally means see. It's the more literal translation, see with your eyes. Pull back and broaden your perspective, because sometimes the events in life need to be seen as part of a larger picture. And so before we judge the events, claiming to know whether they're blessings or curses, whether we're in the sanctuary on Rosh Hashanah or outside or on Zoom, with kids or without, services, wherever they may be, I hope we'll see Re'eh. Greet life with perspective. For as the great philosopher Martin Buber once said, all journeys have secret destinations of which the traveler is unaware, meaning we need to be open to uncertainty, not being sure of where our journey will take us, just knowing that we're going to travel and we're going to travel together. Now, this is a difficult thing to do, I recognize, move into a period of uncertainty, but that is what Judaism has always taught us, to embrace the journey even when we don't know where we're going. Lech lecha, we remember, God instructs Abraham and Sarah, go forth to a land that I will show you, meaning you may not be able to see it right now, but start moving anyway, open to the places that life may take you. Because like Abraham and Sarah, when we leave the unknown, actually, when we leave the known for the unknown, we open ourselves up to transformation. I was recently reading a book by Estelle Frankel called The Wisdom of Not Knowing. And she points out some beautiful Torah. She says that in Judaism, we're often instructed to welcome the stranger. Welcome the stranger. It's such an important mitzvah. But she reminds us it's important not just because it's a good thing to do, to welcome people into our homes, like Abraham and Sarah, welcome people who are hungry or thirsty. It's not just to make space for immigrants who enter our land because we were strangers in the land of Egypt. But the mitzvah of welcoming the stranger is important because it reminds us to welcome people whom we've never met before. In fact, in the Zohar, it says that Abraham and Sarah's tent was open on all four sides so that new people could enter at any time. For true curiosity, true discovery is to see and consider what is not yet known. And right now we are in a moment of not knowing. These are unsettling times with a variant spreading and our nation struggling to understand what comes next. I have no idea what the new year will bring. I have no idea whether we'll be in the sanctuary or not. We are planning to gather in the sanctuary. But I do know that rather than be disappointed or angry or scared with what may come, I hope that we'll see, re'eh, that just as a blessing can be a curse can be a blessing. And I pray that we open ourselves up to this moment of uncertainty, to allow in transformation, to renewal, to the high holy days. Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom. Rabbi Sissenwein, your words make me think of how we need to remain open, how we're not sure whether something is a blessing or a curse, and how we need to take everything in perspective. There's a line from a prayer about love saying, Petach libi b'toratecha, open my heart to your Torah. I hope you'll sing it with me, and I hope we'll remain open together. Petach libi b'toratecha, open our hearts to your Torah. Petach libi b'toratecha, so we will know who we are. Petach libi b'toratecha, open our hearts to your Torah. Petach libi b'toratecha, so we will know who we are. Understanding turns to wisdom, and may you always choose to stand. Shout Hineni and rise up with both hands. follow God's command. B'tach libi b'toratecha. Open our hearts to your Torah. B'tach libi b'toratecha. So we will know who we are. B'tach libi b'toratecha. Open our hearts to your Torah. B'tach libi b'toratecha. We will know who we are. Understanding leads to knowledge, and you can always learn some more. Learn what looks like a blessing or curse. Pass down the door by door. B'tach libi b'toratecha. Open our hearts to your Torah. B'tach libi b'toratecha. So we will know who we are. B'tach libi b'toratecha. Open our hearts to your Torah. B'tach libi b'toratecha. So we will know who we are.
Here in the support of virtual community, we turn to a moment of memory. We recall those whom we have loved and lost, and those whose lives will always be entwined with our own. We recall with especially recent grief those whom our community has lost within the last 30 days. We're remembering Henrietta Henny Letterman, Peter Lees, who's not yet interred, Russell Murray, and Ronald Ronkin. And if you are a mourner in our midst, if you've lost a loved one in this period of Shloshim of the last 30 days, or if you've lost a parent in Shana the last 11 months, or if it is the Yartzeit, the anniversary of a loved one's passing, please raise your hand, or you can rise so that we can acknowledge you as a mourner. And you can use the chat room to share the name of the loved one who you are remembering this week. I've been asked to read the names of Samuel Bellow, Joseph Busgang and Stephanie Busgang, Zelda Davis and Haskell Fishman, as well as Adele Gordon, Simon Cy Grossman, David Moffinson. As we see these names coming in, we hold them in our hearts, and together we join it in words of Mourner's Kaddish, words of praise for the source of life.
I don't know, Susan, are you able to place
Have
the
a question?
words, or because we lost? Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you. We join together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah. Be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'elam ulamei almaya. Next slide. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehi shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru Amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn, and may we be a comfort to all who are bereaved. Together we can say, Amen.
Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
So a few announcements. First of all, we hope you will register for the High Holy Days. We're trying to get a sense of how many people will be joining us in our building, ideally, or on Zoom at this moment in time. I also want to mention that Monday we have a meet and greet for Josh Rosenberg's in our temple courtyard. And Vanessa, I hope you'll be there as well. Great. So it's a meet and greet of Josh and Vanessa. So come join us 5 o'clock on Monday. I also want to mention on Wednesday, we have pastrami in the parking lot that Susan has organized, a pickup dinner from Mamala's. I hope you're getting your broadcasts. A lot of important things are taking place in the life of our community, social justice events. Preparing for the new year, we're collecting the addresses of our college students. We'd love to send them packages this year. We also want to call your attention to Elul Learning. Our preparation for the High Holy Days learning begins on August 16th, and it always promises to be fruitful and inspiring and a great way to prepare for the High Holy Days. Let us now, actually the last thing I will say is Ryan Lesner is leading us in Torah study next weekend, not tomorrow, but the week after. And I call your attention to that because that is in honor of the fact that Ryan is getting married to Dahlia next weekend. And so we wish Ryan and Dahlia Mazel Tov. So if you want to join him in celebration in the study of Torah, it's next Saturday, 8 days from now at what time, Ryan?
10 o'clock. Susan, thank you.
So since you're not going to be with us this next Friday, we'll just give you a collective raise the roof Mazel Tov. We're really excited for you and Dahlia. So let us now turn to Kiddush and Motzi. If you have a Kiddush cup in front of you, we invite you. I don't know if you know how to spotlight people, Susan, since we've lost Max in the mix. But if so, hey, I guess so. And Josh, if you'll lead us. Thanks.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit. Ki hu yom techila lemikrahe kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu vacharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol hamim, ve'shabat kodshecha, ve'ahava uvratzon, yinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
Amen. And thank you, Susan, for being able to do that. It's great to see all of these faces. Now, if someone has a challah, if you can place that challah in front of your camera so that Susan can see it. And hopefully someone has a challah. Hey, there we go. So let us make motzi together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tehavon.
And now if someone could take a piece of challah, take a bite, and we'll open up the microphones, God willing, to greet each other. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.